Hey guys, I'm Navi. Welcome to my channel on Reroots. So, prices averted, I managed to get the Whitney doll back to her original factory paint. I washed it with a bit of soap and I scrubbed it. It still wasn't coming off as much as I wanted. So, what I did, I tried a little bit of acetone and I noticed that it was rubbing the factory paint off. So I stopped and then I used some rubbing alcohol and that managed to get all the varnish out of the doll's scalp. So I already gave it a head start. So I've done half the hairline and I stopped here purely because most of the frontal will be the iconic bangs. Now, I'm not a fan of bangs on dolls. Sorry, guys, I really am not. And I have rebooted um, two of these. I actually rebooted all the Totally Hair line. And if you've seen my shorts, if you've subscribed and seen my shorts, you probably have come across my collection of Totally Hair Barbies. And I rerouted them with human hair. Yes, I did. That was before I came across neck long hair. And that's why I like neck long hair. But I will explain to you guys as I go because I don't want to bore you guys and I don't want this video to be too long. So we're going to carry on putting our plugs. And at the moment, guys, the plugs are sitting on my lap because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's how I normally reroot. Rerooting is very therapeutic to me, at least I find it. And let's just push that in one more time. Just make sure that it's in there. And I normally tug my plugs as well, just to make sure that they are in place. So since this is my first time, it's a bit combobulated, so I do apologize. It will get better, I'm sure. So this is my first time uploading videos, and I've been watching. I've been a spectator for many years, and I decided to give it a go myself and upload some videos. So I hope you guys enjoy them. This is a learning curve for me. So when I say journey, I really mean it. It is a journey because, guys, I never edited a video before either. So this is a brand new thing for me. So we are going to carry on plugging and I'm going to talk to you guys as I go, just to give you a bit of an insight. So I remember the first time that I watched the commercial for the Totally Hair doll, for Totally Hair Barbie, and all we can say is, of my iconic, my jaw just hit the floor. I had never seen anything like it, and there had never been a doll like it. I think the longest hair Barbie ever had was, I think it was the Tropical series back in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, or early 80s, where they had ankle hair. But Barbie had never had ankle hair, so that was the first one. And of course, we wanted them. So we quickly learned. Oh, and my needle just split. I am being tempted, guys. I really am. Couple of things have gone wrong, but this just shows you I'm keeping it real with all of you. So these things happen, as I was talking about needle splitting and all that kind of stuff, and mine just did. So I'm going to grab a needle and I'll be right back. So I might as well, for the time being, as we made our little makeshift rebooting tool, let's see how well it works. So we've got our plug, and we are going to, and this one's broke as well. Okay, right. Guys, this is just, this is typical me, all right? Do you guys know that song, Why Does It Always Rain on Me? This is, yeah, that's my anthem. It does, and when it rains, it pours. So just bear with me, and I will definitely be right back. All right, guys, I just went to grab my needles. You really are getting the full experience here. So I just got some quill embroidery needles, and we are going to grab a thicker one. I'm going to take that one out because we do really need. Can we all say a blessing right now? Amen. And the good thing is not to give up. So I'm going to cut that. And guys, what I was trying to say to you guys earlier is be careful when you trim your needles. You know, move your eyes as far away as possible because sometimes it can jump, and I don't want anyone to be hurt. So always take care when you're doing this. Okay. All right. And even the needle is getting okay. We've got it. We've done it. Let's get rid of that. Let's give it up for my pliers. As you can see, they've been through as much as I probably have, and then some. But it's best not to give up. So we're quickly going to insert the needle onto our Rerooting tool. Let's just see. Are we happy? No, we are not happy with that length. So as I said to you guys, I don't like to leave my needle too long because that can definitely help it split. So Rerooting tool all done now. We can carry on. So guys, back to our totally hair. So after we saw the video, we knew exactly what we wanted for Christmas, and we were never bratty, but we were kids. We were still kids in the 90s. I was still a child in the 90s. And let me just let's just come on. Okay. Send prayers for me, guys, please. Because I am really giving you the full experience here. This is not, at least you guys know what you can expect. Even when someone's been doing this for as long as I have, which is at least 10 years, I've recalculated, and it has been at least 10 years that I've been rerooting. So we grab another piece of hair, and I'm going to get that hole. I'm going to grab my, and sometimes I just pinch the head as well, just to make sure that it goes into place. So, and there we go. So that's inserted. I would like the needle a bit longer, but we'll do it on the next one, okay? Hopefully not. Hopefully I can get this reboot done quicker now. And sometimes, guys, also, when you've got, sometimes the holes are not even, you know, that's where the machine might have missed or something. So I just give it a little, I make my own holes with my needle, and they are smaller as well, which is quite good because they hold the plugs even better. And that hair was too thick, and then it splits. So we are going to make way with that one. And yes, I did say not to waste hair, but I am trying to be as efficient as I possibly can. To, I don't want to put you guys to sleep. Hopefully, you won't be sleeping because you'll be laughing your head off. Going, and he's trying to teach us how to reroot. Well, I'm giving it my best shot. So it's not so much teaching you guys how to reroot. I just wanted to share how I reroot my dolls because I absolutely love rerooting. I find it really, really calming. And if I haven't rerooted in a while, I can tell because I start missing it. And it is one of my go-to things, especially when I'm stressed. I definitely feel the need to reroot because that just takes me into another world. And sometimes we all need that, don't we? So I'm going to puncture another makeshift hole because the machine missed that one. Naughty, naughty. And we are going to grab a plug and we are going to go and get that plug into that tiny little hole. So once again, I'm going to pinch and I'm going to put my, and sometimes if the hair is slightly, if that knot is slightly wider, you may have to just push it in a bit more in order to make it fit, but it's in there. So going back to 1991, we were kids. Our jaws have just dropped on the floor, and we were like, "We want them! We want them!" So I asked for the can for Christmas. I asked for the Totally Hair can for Christmas, and my sister got asked for the Totally Hair Barbie because we wanted to have one of each. And guys, honestly, up until I started my journey on collecting dolls, I had no idea that Ken had hair before because I was used to, from the 80s to the 90s, up until Totally Hair Ken, I had never seen a rooted Ken before. It had always been molded. And normally Ken would have a side parting, like the typical, I call it professional sweep. He had the side parting, or he had his kind of little pompadour style with the hair all neat in the back. And so when I saw Totally Hair Can, I needed to have it in my life, and I did get it. However, my sister didn't get the Totally Hair Barbie. No, she didn't. She got the original blue mermaid Barbie that was also released in 1991, and she's gorgeous. And yes, once I went back on my Barbie journey in my adult years, I had to go and get all the dolls that we had or wanted. So that includes the first one that my sister ever got that was brand new in box was the Benetton Barbie. I think she was released in 1990. Um, One of our neighbors actually got the Teresa, the Benetton Teresa, which is now very hard to find as well. Um, and yeah, she got the mermaid Barbie, and I got Totally Hair Ken, and I was over the moon with him. Although they say, and if you guys let me know down in the comments if you guys have had the Totally Hair Can, it wasn't just Totally Hair Can, because that hair was a bit hard to get into any other style. At least I found that when I was a kid. And once we combed that gel, which obviously we're going to, that hair was a hot mess. So yeah, it did need a lot of styling going, and a lot of gel to put it back into place. And there's a sad story to mine because I believe on the same year or the following year, we had been playing outside, and My candle disappeared. It was nowhere to be found, and I was gutted, obviously. And it was also the first candle we ever owned. Um, and mine went missing. So I thought one of the other kids had stolen it, or someone had passed by and grabbed it, because we were all playing, and out of the blue, my cam was gone. So I had no idea what happened. And it wasn't until a few months later that someone found it. And I believe it was one of my neighbor's dogs that grabbed it, because it had been dug. It had been dug. It was uncovered when someone was doing their garden. And bless him, he had been scraped across the face as well. So, which totally made him badass. He had some scratches along the face, but it didn't bother me because I got to get my Ken doll back. So we moved to London, and we actually left our toys um, behind at the time. There wasn't a lot of time for us to do a lot of packing. So, and by then I had stopped. I was around 15, so I wasn't playing. So now, guys, I'm just going to go to the next hole, and I'm going to fill all of that, probably up to here. So I'm going to fill all of this, and then what I'm going to do, I am going to do that side, and then I will come back to you guys and do the part line. I'll show you how I do my fringe or bangs. So I'm going to talk to you for a little bit more as I plug. I hope you're enjoying my conversation, because I can talk for England, but I also stutter every now and then, and sometimes the words are hard to come out. Sometimes I have hard time expressing, or having difficulty in getting the words out, as you can probably tell by now. So yeah, I had left my dolls, and I concentrated on my studies and all of that. I was 15 by then, and it wasn't until I was 19 that I went to Hamleys. Now, if you are from the UK, you'll know what Hamleys is. Hamleys is a very nice toy store in central London. It's very kind of bougie. And yeah, I went there, just have a little snoop around, sightseeing and all that. And I came across, now I hadn't seen Barbie in quite some time. I was becoming an adult and all that. So studies and, making friends and, getting to becoming an adult. So Barbie was sadly forgotten for the time being. Not totally, but if I saw one in the supermarket, I would always kind of look. And I came across the new belly button doll, and it was actually Surf City Barbie. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, that body looks amazing. What did they do to Barbie? She doesn't have the TNT body anymore. Okay, all right. I was pleased with that. And she looks slightly different to what I was used to. The face was slightly different, the face paint and all of that, because I grew up with this face paint, which I still adore. I think what we're getting now compared to what we used to get when we were kids in the 90s is abysmal sometimes. No to pixelation, and no to Millie. I don't mind Millie, but I do think that she gives very plain Jane. It's not what Barbie is or used to be. wasn't. Let me just get rid of this brush for the time being. We don't need it just yet. Guys, also, I forgot to say, I'm rerooting with quite a bit of length in there, because once I straighten it and once I then crimp it, I will then cut it, because sometimes when you, even after you straighten it, if you cut it ankle length, when you crimp it, it will shrink and it will be slightly shorter. And if you own an original totally Hair Barbie, you know that the hair is in fact Connect-A-Long. It's slightly different to this one. That Connect-A-Long was fluffier for some reason, and it would become like bushy and all that. I'm pretty sure that most of us that have dealt with Barbie know what I'm talking about. It did become like candy floss at times, so it does need boil washing. And so does this one. After I'm done with it, not so much, but I will show you guys how I do that as well. So guys, I am just rerouting for my life here. I'm trying to be as quick as I can, but rerouting is not about being quick. You know, it really isn't. It's about enjoying it. When I reroot, normally I'll just put my series on. I'll put some of my favorite series and I'll just sit there. And normally it's the doll head on one leg and the hair on the other, which is where I'm pulling my hair from. In case I forgot to mention it, or I did mention it but moved on to something else, which I tend to do. You have 10 conversations in 5 minutes. So yeah, it's not about, you know, how quick it can be. Don't be under illusions that it will be like an hour. And it's important also to keep hydrated. Now I've got my little bottle here that I put on my shorts. I thought it would be, I never owned anything like this, to be honest with you guys. I bought it especially for the videos. It's important to stay hydrated, especially now as the weather's getting warmer. But during this, the winter times, just make sure you've got something warm to keep it going, because if you reroot already, you know that you can get totally lost into it, and you know, and sometimes we just want to get to the end. But rebooting is not about that, at least not for me. I enjoy rebooting, I really do. It takes patience, it really does. Someone once told me when they saw me plugging away, they said, "You've got the patience of a saint." I certainly couldn't do that. So yeah, but I really enjoy it. I find that all my worries and troubles melt away when I'm rebooting. So yeah, it's not about how quick you can be, and I'm not trying to speed through this at all. I will have to at some point, because I don't want this to be way too long. So guys, I think I rerouted a quarter of this in 23 minutes, which wasn't even a quarter because I had already had some. So this just gives you an insight of, and I'm just going to pop a new little button in there, new little, so I can put another plug. So yeah, guys, it's not about how quick you can be. It's just about how much you're enjoying your reroots, and you know, put your series on, put your favorite YouTuber on, you know, or favorite YouTubers on, which I often do as well. Now, I'm not going to name anyone for the time being, but anyone that I watch will know that I appreciate them, and I appreciate you guys if you're watching my video. And enjoying what I'm putting out for the first time ever. And it's not been easy, guys, because I started this video only once. And yeah, sometimes things just don't go right, and nothing's perfect, and I'm not perfect, and I'm just showing you guys what rerooting is really like. You know, it takes patience, it takes focus, and yeah, it's not always going to go right. You know, you're not always going to get a perfect result. There are some of my reroots that I look at now and I want to reroot them again. Um, but yeah, so here we go. All right, guys. So it is what it is. Nothing in life is easy. Or at least if it was easy, I'll be skipping down the road every single day. Well, guess I spoke too soon, guys. Thanks, Fairy. Um, so I gave it a head start, guys, and I'm sorry it's taken a bit longer than I expected to upload the second part of the video, but I had to go and be an adult, as I'm sure most of us are. And yeah, so I had to go an adult. I had a couple of things that came on play, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm back, I'm here, and I gave it a bit of a head start already, just so the video isn't too long. And what I've left out is the iconic bangs. So we've got a bit of a triangle here. And what I'm going to do, I am going to fill this in first, and then I'm going to fill these little holes, and then I'm going to actually tell why. I'm going to fill this triangle first, if you guys can see that. So she's got a triangle shape, which is where the bangs are. So I'm going to fill these holes first because they're going to go back. And the way I thatch the hair is where the parting is, or in this case the bangs, I'm going to fill the holes with hair going backwards, and then I'm going to cut some of the hair that I already have into smaller strands, into smaller plugs, so we then do the bangs, so we're not wasting hair, you know, because it's going to be cut anyway. So I would say we'd only need hair up to here to start with. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do these, the longer bits that go to the back of the hairstyle, and then I'll do the bangs. All right, so let's go. And I'm going to do a little trick here so the video doesn't become way too long. All right, so bear with me. So I just put the first plug in, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it backwards, and this hair is very long. So yeah, so now I'm going to do these ones and this little bit, we'll see. Guys, just one quick thing. So as you can see, all those holes are now filled. When you find yourselves with holes that are slightly bigger, it does help to put at least 2 plugs in there, or a thicker plug that covers the hole, and it makes the plugs more secure. And I forgot to add that this method works with any doll hair that you may have. So it's not just for connecting all in hair. I forgot to add that before. And it also helps to put your hair in braids because it keeps it nice and neat and it's not tangling all over the place. At the moment, as you can see, I'm finishing the front, so I will leave it as is. But yeah, so now I'm going to do this side quickly, and yeah, then I'll do this one, and then I'll show you how I do the bangs, okay? So be right back. And we're done with the first part of our thatching. So now I'm going to do the front of the hairline, guys. And then I'll do this little, I think there's only, oh, that's 4, because there's that small one in that you can barely see, but I'm going to fill it. So isn't it fun when we learn new tricks? I hope you guys enjoyed that little adaptation to the Reroot. So I'm going to do the same on the front, and yeah, and then we'll be complete with our Reroot, our first one. We made it. Yay. Well, not just yet, but we will in a second. So guys, as I was telling you, so these are the remaining plugs that I did ahead of the Reroot, and they are very long. They are the same length as the other one. So I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to cut where the knots are, and then I'm going to fold it again, and I'm going to cut it, and I might fold it again as well, and I'm going to cut it and make new plugs, because as you can see, it is more than enough length for Miss Whitney here. All right, so be right back. So this is the hair that we have from all those plugs. I folded it 4 times in order to create a shorter amount of length, and now I'm going to do the plugs. So what I tend to do is just grab, as this is the front, I'm going to grab smaller strands of hair, and I'm going to find my center, as I told you guys, and then I'm going to knot the middle of the plug, and that's our first plug. So there it is, that's the knot right there, and then give it a little tug because it makes it more resistant as well. So now just got to make a bunch more in order to finish the hairline. So guys, now that I've got my plugs in place, just made a bunch more, we can now finish our reroot. Yay! We are almost there. Just a few more plugs to go. I have to pinch the head a little bit, but not too much, so we don't cause the scalp to split, especially around the hairline. And that's our first plug into the bangs, so they are shorter, a lot shorter than what the other hair is. And there we are. So now the front of the bangs is done. Face is now covered, as you can see. Now I'm going to do these couple of holes here, and then I'm going to do the thatching next. Yay! Almost there, guys. Almost there. So guys, I have just finished doing the middle holes, and now I'm going to start thatching. And with thatching, all I do is go back to these back holes here, and I insert another plug forward like this. It might be a bit more difficult to do on camera, and always take care when you do this, because you are inserting another plug into your already plugged hair. If you careful enough, you'll be able to do that without causing too much disruption onto the plug itself. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So like that. That creates kind of a seamless parting. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and I will see you in a minute. Last one, guys. And there you have it. Obviously, the closer your holes are, the more seamless, excuse me, the more seamless it's going to be. And sometimes I do create a couple of extra holes, but in order to avoid torturing this poor girl anymore, I'm quite happy with that, because especially with the curly hair girls, their bangs or fringe are pulled back, or they're very curly. It depends on the doll itself or which factory she was made at. So there you go. There you have it. I hope that was helpful to you guys. Obviously, there are people that make thicker plugs and then they separate the hair. I find that doing it this way, where I put one plug going one way and then the plug going the other way, I get a more seamless result. But that's my preference, and you need to find your own and see what you're comfortable with. But I find that this works for me, and that's the way I thatch my partings. I just simply, if it's a side parting, I will simply do one side first, and then I will do another set of plugs on the other side. It takes a bit longer, yes, it does, but I find that it works for me. So you guys just practice and see which one works for you. Obviously, if it's a center parting, I would do one side first and then the other, and so forth. But there you go. There you have it. She is now fully rooted all the way, and I find that when you use shorter hair for the, if you're doing a fringe or bangs, then it's easier to identify what part of the hair is bangs, and saves you from messing around with it. Obviously, putting the hair separate from front or from the part line itself also helps. And yeah, there you go. That's how I root or reroot or reroot my dolls. I hope this was helpful to you. And guys, so the video is no longer than what it's necessary. What I will do, I will end the how I remove my dolls here, and then I'm going to show you guys how I then style the doll's hair, or how I make it smoother from the texture that it comes in, because it comes in a kinky texture. Obviously, if you're working with saran hair or nylon hair or any other type of doll hair, I've never worked with doll hair. Actually, I never ordered specific doll hair like from the main places that you can order doll hair from. I've never worked with that type of hair. I've always worked with Kanekalon or human hair or another type of hair, synthetic hair that's used for. But that one, guys, is for another video. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed what I put out for you guys. I hope it's helpful. And if it is, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Support means a lot. I appreciate all the content creators out there, like all the doll artists that are watching that I'm subscribed to even more now, because yeah, what was meant to be a one quick video turned into a two-part video. So yeah, it's it will get better, but yeah, it was a learning curve for me because this was the first time I edited videos. It was the first time that I was working on camera, so all the little hiccups and everything, it is what it is. And I hope, if anything, I made you laugh. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So don't forget to hit the bell button to get notified when I upload my next content. It's not all going to be about reroots, but there will be some fun stuff, I'm sure. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button. And yep, I hope you enjoyed it. So let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys very soon. And there's a little surprise for you guys as well. So stay tuned. Don't go away just yet. All right. Well, it's bye for me now, and enjoy.